On March 14, 1879, in the quiet city of Ulm, nestled in the Kingdom of Württemberg, Germany, a child was born who would one day change the course of human history. His name was Albert Einstein. He was the first son of Hermann and Pauline Einstein, a couple whose lives were shaped by the hopes and challenges of a rapidly changing world. Hermann, his father, was an ambitious entrepreneur who co-founded an electrical engineering company, striving to bring the wonders of electricity to German homes and businesses. Pauline, his mother, was a talented pianist whose love for music filled their home with melody and inspired young Albert's lifelong passion for the arts. The Einsteins lived modestly in a small apartment above their family business, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the gentle notes of piano music. They had no idea that their son would one day redefine the very fabric of reality. As a child, Albert was quiet and deeply thoughtful, often lost in his own world. He was slow to speak, which caused his parents some concern, and they wondered if he would ever catch up to other children. Yet this silence was not a sign of weakness, but rather the first hint of a mind that observed the world with unique curiosity and wonder. In 1880, seeking new opportunities and a brighter future, the Einstein family moved to Munich, a city alive with innovation and promise. The city of Ulm faded into the background of their lives, but the legacy that began in those quiet streets would echo through the ages, indestructible and everlasting. The Einstein family's story began with simple dreams, parents wishing only for their son's happiness and success, never imagining the extraordinary path he would take. They could not have foreseen that their quiet, contemplative child would one day illuminate the deepest mysteries of space and time, forever altering our understanding of the universe. From these humble beginnings, a revolution in thought was set in motion, a journey that would inspire generations to look up at the stars and wonder. Munich marked the true start of Albert's education and his rebellion. The rigid German school system clashed with his independent mind. He disliked rote memorization and questioned authority, earning a reputation as a daydreamer. Yet two passions flourished: mathematics and music. A simple magnetic compass from his father sparked his lifelong curiosity about invisible forces. His mother's violin lessons introduced him to the harmony he'd later seek in physics. His uncle Jakob nurtured his love for algebra, making math a playful pursuit. By 12, Albert was teaching himself geometry, devouring its logic. When the family business failed, he left school without a diploma and joined his family in Italy. This act of rebellion was liberation, a young thinker choosing exploration over conformity. The seeds of genius were already taking root. After leaving Germany, a young and ambitious Albert Einstein set his sights on Zurich Polytechnic in Switzerland, one of the most prestigious scientific institutions of the era. Drawn by its reputation for academic excellence and innovation, Einstein hoped to find an environment where his curiosity and unconventional thinking could flourish. However, his journey began with a setback. He failed the entrance exam's general subjects, struggling with areas outside his true interests. Yet he excelled in math and physics, impressing the faculty with his remarkable aptitude for scientific reasoning. This early challenge only fueled his determination to succeed. To improve his chances, Einstein spent a transformative year at a progressive school in Aarau. There, he encountered a new approach to learning, one that encouraged independent thought and creativity. This experience reignited his passion for discovery and set him on a path of lifelong intellectual curiosity. In 1896, Einstein finally entered the Polytechnic. He made a bold decision to renounce his German citizenship, a move that allowed him to avoid compulsory military service and focus entirely on his studies. This act of independence would become a defining trait throughout his life. At the Polytechnic, Einstein thrived academically, but he often found the traditional lectures uninspiring. He preferred to study on his own, delving deeply into scientific texts and exploring ideas that fascinated him. His independent spirit sometimes put him at odds with his professors, but it also allowed him to develop a unique perspective on physics. Einstein relied heavily on the meticulous notes of his classmate Marcel Grossmann, whose friendship proved invaluable. During this time, he also formed a deep intellectual and personal bond with Mileva Maric, the only woman in their class. Together, they challenged each other's ideas and supported one another through the rigors of academic life. In 1900, Einstein graduated with a teaching diploma. Despite his academic achievements, His reputation for questioning authority and his unconventional methods made it difficult for him to secure a teaching position. He sent out numerous job applications, but faced repeated rejections. For 2 years, Einstein struggled to find steady employment, living in modest quarters and relying on the support of friends and family. Yet, these lean years were not wasted. He filled his days with intense private study, poring over scientific journals and developing his own ideas. During this period of solitude and perseverance, the seeds of his greatest theories began to germinate. He filled notebook after notebook with calculations, questions, and bold new concepts that would one day revolutionize physics. Einstein's journey was anything but conventional. Despite setbacks and uncertainty, his determination and passion for understanding the universe never wavered. He continued to push forward, driven by an unshakable belief in the power of ideas. The world of physics was on the brink of transformation, and Einstein was about to play a pivotal role in changing it forever. Einstein was a paradox. His mind grasped the cosmos, but he struggled with daily life. His chaotic desk and wild hair reflected a mind preoccupied with the universe's mysteries. He wielded humor to challenge authority and never took himself too seriously. Einstein's core was a fierce belief in intellectual freedom and skepticism of dogma. He questioned Newtonian physics not out of arrogance, but from independent analysis. His blend of wit, independence, and moral conviction made him a revolutionary. He lived and thought on his own terms. Behind the genius was a turbulent family life. His parents and sister Maya provided early support, while his uncle Jakob sparked his love for math. Mileva Maric, his classmate and intellectual partner, became his first wife. Their marriage produced 2 sons, but work and personal struggles led to separation and divorce. Einstein later married his cousin Elsa, who managed his household as his fame grew. His relationship with his sons was distant, especially after emigrating to the US. His younger son, Edward, suffered from mental illness, and Einstein never saw him again after 1933. Love, partnership, and loss shaped his personal life as much as his science. Even the greatest minds face deeply human struggles. The world would never see physics the same way again. Einstein was not an inventor of gadgets. His laboratory was his mind. He revolutionized theoretical physics, not practical technology. A common myth is that he invented the atomic bomb. He did not. His equation E=mc gift was changing how humanity sees the universe. Einstein's mind, not his inventions, changed the world. The rise of the Nazis forced Einstein to leave Germany for the United States in 1933. His property was seized, his books burned, and he became a target. He found sanctuary at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, a haven for pure research. In 1940, he became a U.S. citizen, dedicating his later years to the search for a unified field theory. Though he never succeeded, his quest reflected his belief in the unity of nature. On April 17, 1955, Einstein suffered a fatal aneurysm and refused surgery, saying, "I have done my share, it is time to go." He died the next morning, still working on his equations. His final years were marked by dignity, advocacy for peace, and relentless curiosity. Princeton was his refuge and the stage for his last scientific dreams. Einstein's legacy endured beyond his final breath. When Albert Einstein died in 1955, his passing ignited one of the most bizarre chapters in scientific history. Without the consent of his family, a pathologist removed Einstein's brain during his autopsy, hoping to uncover the roots of his extraordinary intellect. For decades, scientists sliced, stained, and scrutinized the brain, searching for anatomical clues to genius. Yet, despite all the tests and headlines, no clear secret to Einstein's brilliance was ever found. His mind remained as mysterious in death as it was in life. Beyond his scientific achievements, Einstein was famous for his quirks. He played the violin passionately, often losing himself in music for hours. He famously hated wearing socks, believing them unnecessary, and preferred comfort over convention in his daily attire. These eccentricities made him both relatable and enigmatic, endearing him to friends and strangers alike. In 1952, the newly formed nation of Israel offered Einstein its presidency, a role of immense honor and responsibility. Despite the historic gesture, Einstein declined, explaining that he lacked the natural aptitude and experience for political office. He cherished his independence and the freedom to pursue ideas without the constraints of government or power. Einstein's convictions extended far beyond the laboratory. He was a committed pacifist, speaking out against war and violence even when it was unpopular. In America, he became a vocal opponent of racism, lending his voice and reputation to the civil rights movement and supporting activists fighting for equality. He called racism a disease of white people, and he did not hesitate to use his fame to challenge injustice. Einstein opened his home to black students barred from university housing and wrote passionately about the need for social change, believing that science and humanity were inseparable. His activism and eccentricities revealed a man whose greatness extended far beyond equations and theories. Einstein's life was a tapestry woven from curiosity, compassion, and a refusal to conform to society's expectations. He believed deeply in universal human values, empathy, justice, and the courage to think independently. For Einstein, the pursuit of knowledge was inseparable from the pursuit of a better, kinder world. Einstein's life was a remarkable blend of insatiable curiosity, genuine compassion, and joyful nonconformity. He inspired those around him not just with his intellect, but with his warmth and humility. His legacy endures not only in the equations that changed our understanding of the universe, but in the example he set for humanity, reminding us to question, to care, and to dream. Today, the world remembers Einstein not only as a scientific genius, but as a champion of peace, justice, and human dignity, a man whose curiosity and conscience continue to inspire generations.